Hi everyone, I'm Nadia, and in today's video my mom is making a complete makeshift DIY mold for the resin water effect. She'll be showing two different ways in this video. The first way is making a tray, and secondly is a set of coasters. Her original plan was to shrink vinyl and build up an edge with silicone to make a mold, but my dad used the silicone and it was nowhere to be found, so she ended up looking for a tray that would work to raise the edges. So this is the process of her trying to figure out the best way to go about this. She starts by taking a sheet of baking paper and places some medium-sized pebbles on top, and then places the vinyl. She quickly realized that the heat gun does not shrink vinyl, but it does make it softer and more pliable, so it drapes nicer over the rocks. First, she tested out this mold to help shape the tray, but it doesn't lift the edges up high enough. So she ended up moving everything onto a wooden tray, which works out much better. And she cuts off any excess baking paper with scissors. She adjusts the placement of the pebbles and places the vinyl on top. And she continues to use the heat gun to help shape the vinyl. She's ready to start mixing in her resin, and she's using J. Dixon's Deep Pour Epoxy Resin. It's a 2-to-1 ratio by volume, so she fills 2 cups of the part A and pours them into a larger cup. And 1 cup of the part B. I'll have a link to this resin along with my mom's 10% discount code in the description. Once both parts are in her cup, she stirs well for several minutes. And for her pigments, she's using J. Dixon's transparent pigment in the shade Peacock Blue and Green. Once the pigments are mixed in well, she's ready to start pouring. If you're enjoying this video, be sure to leave a thumbs up or a super thanks, which helps to support my channel so that I can keep creating videos for you guys. And she goes over her resin with a heat gun. I'll have links to all of these products in the description if you'd like to give this a try yourself, so be sure to check that out. And she uses a silicone mixing stick to help push down some of the corners and edges, and also adjust the placements of the pebbles, and this will help to lift any air bubbles to the surface. Then she uses a torch gun to pop those air bubbles, and she's moving her torch gun very quickly so that she doesn't burn her resin or her mold. Before she leaves, she covers her piece so that no dust particles or fibers fly into the resin while it's hardening. She comes back after the resin has slightly hardened, but not completely, and she adds some knobs made out of resin under each corner of the tray to lift the edges. And she used a small piece of vinyl that she cut to help push down any areas so that she wouldn't leave any visible fingerprints. She allows it to continue its hardening process and comes back in a couple of days to demold. She carefully pulls off the vinyl. The curing time of this deep pour resin is 48 to 72 hours, which is a little bit longer than normal resin. So before that time has passed, my mom again places the knobs under each corner of the tray to help give it shape and allows it to finish curing. And here's a quick look at the final product of the tray before we get into the coaster set. Now my mom is making a resin coaster set of 4 in the same effect, and she's using a set of wooden coasters, aluminum foil, painter's tape, and again the vinyl and some pebbles. She's applying the painter's tape all around the edges of the coaster and lifts it as well to allow a space that can be poured into. And it is important to use painter's tape because any other tape could allow leakage. She's using this first coaster to test out what will work, and then we'll continue on to the rest of the coasters. After her tape is in place, she takes the aluminum foil and bundles it up to create little squirrely lines. Then she decided to add in the painter's tape from the inside too to make it more sturdy. And she starts placing in small pebbles as well. And she tapes the foil and the pebbles down to make sure that they stay in place. Then she places the vinyl on top and cuts off any excess. And she uses the heat gun to help shape the vinyl. And she repeats the same process on the remaining 3 coasters. Once her makeshift molds are done, she's ready to start pouring in her resin, and again she's using J. Diction's Deep Pour resin. And she uses the same transparent pigments that she used for her tray. She goes over the vinyl a little bit more with the heat gun to help give it the shape that she wants before she starts to pour. Then she pours into her molds. And she uses the torch gun to get rid of any air bubbles. To help give the taped edges a little bit more stability, she tapes all of the coasters together. And she uses the silicone mixing stick to help adjust the shape and also lift up any trapped air bubbles. To check how deep the resin is, she marks a small wooden stick and places it into the resin. They were a little bit on the thin side, so she poured in more resin. And again uses the torch gun. And to make sure that the outer edges of the makeshift molds are sturdy, she tapes on mixing sticks to help the molds keep their shape. She makes a few more adjustments before covering it so that no dust particles or fibers fly into the resin while it's hardening. And here she is demolding. I'm absolutely in love with how the tray and the coasters came out. Make sure to leave a comment below letting us know what you think. And here's the final product. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, subscribe to see more videos like this in the future. Follow me on my Instagram, Summer Girl Designs, and my mom's Instagram, Wild Heart Resin Art.